Belugas of Ruga come views on this DCC. The max laryngitis and baxillingitis and tune into me. Hello, hello, hello. My name is Andrew Hockruddle. Welcome to the Daily Creative Challenge for Adobe Illustrator. A little mermaid moment for you. Little mermaid moment for you. Felt right for the opening today. I'm feeling great. We are having a good day and we're about to have some fun. Thanks Voodoo Val and Hank for hanging out right before this, doing some amazing work. Make sure that you check out Hank and Voodoo Val. Go back and watch that. Not yet. After this, stick with me here. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have not joined the streams, my name is Andrew Hockrattle. You can find me online on the internet, Behance, Instagram, Twitter, at hawk.co, HOCHDOTCO. And yes, it's just Hawk. It's very German. You can just call me Hawk. Links, hawk.co, all that stuff. So I will be your host and guide and chef extraordinaire on this journey for our DCCs. We are learning all kinds of fun stuff in Illustrator. And hello, a lot of familiar names in chat. Ariana, Steve, of course, Miguel. Hello. Wade is here being our moderator. Thanks, Wade. I'm going to go through a couple things to get you guys up to speed on what we are doing. Just realizing that I probably should have started with the Les Poissons, song since we're doing cooking, but missed opportunity. Let's hop over and show you what we are doing here at behance.net/challenge/illustrator. That's where we live for these challenges. And we have done a bunch of things learning Illustrator through the lens of cooking. Today, we will be making our maps and diagrams so that our waiters can get our dishes out to the tables. There's a lot of things that I'm going to show you today that are going to blow your mind. They are going to make your mind explode. So hang on for those. Very familiar tools that you may not have used, and some hotkeys that are going to make you go, oh, what? So make sure that you check those out and hang out with us for these next 20 minutes. Also, something else that Adobe's doing that I wanted to plug is the Creative Residency Community Fund. You can apply here, and Wade will drop a link, and you can get funding for a project anywhere from $500 to $5,000, as well as apply for an Adobe commission from $500 to $5,000. And some of these commissions might even get you into some exclusive programs like the AI on iPad, Illustrator on iPad. So apply for those. You can get into some awesome programs, get some awesome training, and make a little money while you're at it. So check that out and make sure that you apply. All right, some more things and announcements. We hate announcements here, but we love opportunities to get involved. So you can go to bit.ly/AI Discord. This is where you get involved with our incredible community that is always growing and thriving. It is a thriving community. That was your ASMR moment for the day. So check out this bit.ly/AI Discord. And over in the Discord, people are posting their challenges. We made pasta yesterday using the pen tool pasta. Lots of great pasta here. In this, as I scroll through, I see no impastas. I'm sorry, I had to do it. Man, this coffee is kicking in, and today's going to be a fun stream. So great challenges in here. I will be live on my Behance doing some reviews probably tonight, so you can come hang out and check that out. Get some live reviews and some live feedback on your challenges. All right, so if you've joined us, we are doing infotainment, a little bit of information, a whole lot of entertainment, and we are learning Illustrator through the lens of cooking through a restaurant. So today we are moving into the service portion of our restaurant of Hawk's Kitchen, and we will be mapping out some charts for our waiters to take all of these dishes all over our dining room. We'll be using the arc tool today, and we'll be using some custom brushes. So if you want to grab a pencil or a Sharpie or a pen and a piece of paper, and even just your phone camera, I'm going to show you how to make a custom brush for some of these arcs that we're making. So let's head over to Hawk's Kitchen, and I'll see you in a minute. Les poissons, les poissons. Ee-hee-hee. Oh, there's the opportunity. I felt like I needed to do it. We needed to bring it back. It just felt so right. So let's hop over, and today we'll be working with the Arc tools, making some custom brushes, and I'm going to get you started on your custom brushes before we get into the Arc tool. So grab a piece of paper, and all you need to make a custom brush in Adobe Illustrator is a simple piece of paper that we have here. Our friend Camera 2 is not here today. It was not functioning, so we're going to use Camera 1 in a second way. And all we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of paper and we are going to draw on it. We're just going to make a nice little line. Oh, here, this is your ASMR moment. That was a good one. I appreciated that in my headphones. Hopefully you did as well. Then we're just going to take our phone and I'm going to snap a picture. So this is something that you can do using something like Adobe Capture. I'm trying to incorporate it more into my workflow, but it's not something that's a part of my workflow right now. It's an amazing tool, but I figured that it was easier to stick within my workflow. So I've just taken a picture of that, and I'm going to send that to myself. Then we'll be bringing that into Illustrator. So that's where we're going to start today. If you can follow along, if not, you can follow up later and kind of make sure that you are catching up after the fact. I'm going to grab this image and we are going to hop on over into Illustrator. So I've copied that image that I just took on my phone and I'm going to paste it in here. There we go. So I've just copied and pasted that, super easy. Now we have this little mark here. With this selected, I'm going to go to crop image. And I'm going to crop it in to just where I need it. There we go. I'm going to hit enter and that will crop it in. And this will be our custom brush. It's a little chaotic in our kitchen, so we're going to use this brush to map out where our waders are going. So next, I'm going to come up to Image Trace, and here I have a preset called Halftone. If you want to, I'm going to hit OK. It's going to start to trace out. There we go. If you want to, here are my settings. You can definitely copy these, and I'll try to post them in our Discord after. I have the threshold at 128. That's how much of the darkness and lightness that I want to come through. Our paths are at 98, which means I want it to trace a lot of the paths. Corners are at 0, it means we have sharp corners. And the noise is at 2, which means that we have little details up to 2 pixels. We're ignoring the white so that we just have the black paths. And we're going to hit expand. There we go. And now we've got this nice little brush here that we've taken literally from a piece of paper. Next, we are going to select this shape and we are going to go up here to our brush panel. Here we're going to click on new while with this is selected. So you need the object selected or your brush selected. And we are going to change this to Art Brush. So when we click on Art Brush, it's going to bring up this window and you'll see that it's saying we want it to start to the left and move to the right. And that is what we want. We're going to do this one and name it Scribble. And we want it to stretch to fit the stroke length. That's what we want. We want it to stretch over the entire way. And we want this to be set to tints. Setting it to tints means that we can change it to different colors if we need to in the long run. So we're going to hit OK. And now you'll see that we have this brush selected up here, right? Super easy. And so now I can grab my brush tool, which is just B. There it is. And you'll see if I brush this out, it has now taken that shape and brushed it along this entire path, right? So super easy, super great to make. And again, because it's set to tints, I believe that's the right setting. It's not. Oh, what did I do? This is great because we can change it. So we can come in here and we can set, go to this little menu here, and it will allow us to change this, this brush settings. And it might be tints and shades. Let's go ahead and try that one. Again, professional here, guys. These things should be... Oh man, it always works when I practice and then it goes live and we're like, oh, Andrew, you've completely forgotten. There we go, hue shift. Hue shift is the one that we want, and then we can change the color. So always set that to hue shift. Thank you, Jack. Thank you for saving my brain from completely falling apart. So that is how we make our brush. And again, you can select it and then come up here into this little menu. And here you can do all kinds of different settings. You can flip it if you want to, and you'll see that it's actually doing this live. If we want it to start left and right differently, or flip top to bottom. If we want our overlaps to look a little different, you won't see that here, but it's very easy to change the settings after the fact, and you can kind of mess around with that. Also, check this out. If you want to edit that brush, you can click and drag this onto your artboard. It will make this shape right here. And so let's say we want this to be a little more squishy. I can squish it, and I believe I just drag it back in. Oh man, I tried to get fancy here. All right, we're not going to show you how to do that. I tried to get fancy. I got ahead of myself. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So yes, very easy. Select your shape, and you can apply it to a custom brush. So let's go ahead and apply that to some brushes, to some paths. And this is where I'm going to show you the arc tool. I wanted to show you how to make that custom brush real quick, but today's lesson is really about the arc tool. So let's read our prompt. Create a dining room seating chart using custom brushes and the arc tool. Alt drag. Yes, thank you, Jack. It is alt drag. We'll try that again at the end. I got distracted. That was a side note that's not on my notes at all. I just got excited. So we'll come back to that. We're going to create a dining room seating chart using custom brushes and the arc tool. Service! Don't forget to tip your waiters. So we're going to go over here and grab the arc tool. It is nestled right beneath the line segment tool. It might be hidden. You'll have to click and hold. And when we go to the arc tool, we're going to play with it up here away from our artboard. When we click and drag, you'll see that it's starting at one point up here and then dragging out to another point, right? If we hold shift, it will make that perfectly symmetrical for us, right? 90-degree angles. So let's pull that out. And there we go. Now we have this nice little arc that is on that path. We held shift, but we also can kind of drag to wherever we need it. Right? So we're dragging, and we can make one that's a little bit longer. But then if I want to continue this, you'll notice that it is starting always at the point that you click. And whenever I go, I don't want it. I want it to kind of follow through. So what we can do is we hit F. And by hitting F, remember this, F is for flip. So F will flip. So if we hit F, it will flip that path along the arc tool. And now we can continue that along, right? And we have to be click and hold as we drag. We hit F and it will just flip that, right? We do a little jump rope, kind of fun. So it will flip it so that we can continue that path along that way. Now, if we keep going here, right? And again, because it is upside down, we're going to hit F and it's going to flip it to continue that path. It's a little too roundy for me. So I want it to have a little more gradual. What I can do with it clicked and held is I can start using the arrow keys. And by using the arrow keys, if I hit down, it's going to make that line less rounded. If I hit up, it's going to round that out more, right? So you can get nice little edges, nice little corners, or you can keep going. And again, if I want it to keep going the other way, I just keep hitting down and it will flip it the other way. So you can hit F to flip it exactly, or you can use the arrow keys for it to go back and forth. This is how you really get that jump rope going. So that's how you round your edges, round your corners to get the precise angles that you want on the arc tool, right? So hitting F to flip it, and then using the arrow keys to round out that corner. Yes, this is where your mind is blown. Nobody knows about this. They'll use the arc tool or just use the pen tool to kind of create these perfect things. And yes, these are pro tips from your best friend, your new best friend, Andrew Hawkrattle. Hi. So now what we're going to do is we are going to start making our pathway for our chefs, I guess our waiters, to go around the dining room. These are all of our tables, and there are people seated around these, imagine, and they need their dishes. They are so hungry and they need their dishes, so we need to make the most efficient pathway through all of these tables. So using the arc tool, we're just going to click that, and we're going to have them start out of the kitchen. And coming out of the kitchen, we want them to start here. And again, using the arc tool, we are mapping where we start and where we're going. So we're starting here, and we want them to kind of go and round this corner. Again, our arc tool is going the wrong way, so what button do we push? F, to flip. So now that we flip, now that they're starting and heading in that new direction. So I want them to head in that direction, but I want them to make sure they round that corner to leave enough room for the people at that table. So we're just going to use the arrow keys hitting up, and you can see that instead of getting close to that table and maybe running into one of those people sitting there, as we hit up, it's rounding that corner out all the way so that they have an ample amount of space around that table. All right, and then we're going to have them circle around this table because I think that would just be a good way. All right. And we want them to come around this way, but again, it's going the wrong way. So we're going to hit F, and that is going to flip. Oh, what did I do here? Oops. There we go. We want them to round. There we go. That way. So they're going to round up here. And again, we're just doing segments. So this next segment will be a round corner around that corner. And then coming up around this table here, if you don't want to flip every time, you just want to say, here's where they're going and here's where they're coming from, you can also do that. So you say, we're going up here and they're coming from down here, right? And it's not the perfect angle, so we're going to go ahead and use the arrow keys to round that angle out a little bit more. So there we go, they're on their way, they're curving, and then they're going to do a full roundabout. And I'm going to show you another tool called the spiral tool. And the spiral tool, if we want them to do a little bit of a spiral, we can literally just click with the spiral tool, and we can do segments. So here we want, I don't know, 3 segments, and we're going to hit OK. Oh, we're actually going to change the style to be open on the right. There we go. And now we've got a little spiral for them to do a quick turnaround. There we go. So they got a nice little quick turnaround. And can you use the smooth tool on this line? Yes, absolutely you can. So we used the spiral tool to have them do a little perfect spiral to turn around. And we're going to go back to the arc tool and keep them going to this next table here. So I'm going to go around this way. And again, this is probably the least efficient way of doing this, of going through the dining table. We're going to have them loop back around this way. And again, just continue their journey around all of these tables. So very easy to do the arc tool and keep those arcs kind of moving and swooping. Now you can see that these are all individual paths. And if we want to, we can join them together. So we're just going to select them all. We're going to right click and go to join. And that will take all of these paths and turn them into one path. So now you can see the anchor points. We have, actually, let's change this to red so you can really see those anchor points. There we go. So now you can see the anchor points. It is all one shape all together. Each of those curves that we have created are in one line. So check this out. If we want to change any of these curves, we can literally select the segment of the curve and just click and drag out. You can see how it has that little arc on the cursor, right? There's that little arc. We can click and drag, and it's just going to change that curve, right? Kind of cool. So if you want to change the curve just a little bit, have them do a little pit stop and swoop around, very easy to do that curve. So something else that someone asked is, can you smooth out these lines? Absolutely you can, by grabbing the smooth tool over here. Oh, you're going to put me on the spot, are you? There it is. I got it. Underneath the shaper tool, you can go to smooth, and we are just going to smooth out this line by clicking and dragging over, and it will smooth out these lines for us a little bit so we can have some more rounded corners. And again, the smooth tool, you just kind of follow the line that you want it to be, and it will smooth out those curves for you. Now, the next step is that we want to add in our custom brush that we've made. So we're going to select this path that we've made using the arc tool. And we are going to select our crazy brush that we've made. And it's a little bit too thick, so we're going to go ahead and actually, let's not change the stroke weight. Let's do this. All right, it's a little bit too much. So with this selected, we can come in and again, go to this menu and do the size is fixed. We can just bring that right down, and you'll see that it's getting thinner and thinner to somewhere that might be a little better for what we are working on. So we're gonna hit OK. I'm gonna change this to blue. Actually, let's do green. There we go. So it kind of pops out. So now we have our custom brush along our custom path using the arc tool. So very, very fun. And what I want you guys to do with your challenge is to apply this. Make a custom brush using a pen and paper. You can use crayons, are really good. You can use things like scratching on a table, or really do whatever you want with these. And yes, maybe there's been a spill and they're trying to clean up the spill and it's kind of just following them along the dining room. But make your path, map out your way. And if you have dishes or things, maybe you can decorate this a little bit more, kind of give it some zhuzh it up a bit, and kind of play around with your paths and your custom brushes. So coming up, let's look at the schedule. Next up is our friend Claudie and Giovanni from Print My Soul. We love Claudie. Sometimes she hangs out in chat. So Claudie, if you're here, hi. And yes, it is a ketchup accident. Absolutely. And then Andrea Hawk is coming up later today with our XD challenges. And Kyle T. Webster, hi Kyle, is coming up with some draw along at the end of the day. Kyle is a master of brushes. So I taught you how to make a simple brush today. He's the absolute master. So hang out and check out his stream later today. And then Voodoo Val, who is on just before this, is doing a design off again with our friend Aldo Crusher. There we go. So hang out for those. And we have 4 minutes left, which you know what that means. We're going to do our review. We covered a lot today. So here is your quick minute review. Let's hop back into Illustrator. So today we created a dining room seating chart using custom brushes and the arc tool. To create our custom brush, we took a picture on paper of this very simple mark that we made with a Sharpie. And using that picture, we brought it in to Illustrator and we used the auto trace function, or the trace function. Let's see what that's actually called. I always remember it as the auto trace function. Image trace. Sorry, we used the image trace function, making sure that we ignored white with a high threshold and then expanded to get this shape. From here, we clicked this, went into our brushes panel and hit new brush. In that new brush, we selected art brush, and that made it so that it was going to start and stop and stretch our brush along that path. We then played around with having some other paths with that brush, and then moved into using the arc tool. Using the arc tool, we created a bunch of different arcs, but mostly realized that if we have an arc that we want going the opposite direction, we can click and drag, and while we're holding, we hit F, and F will flip it along the axis. We also can round out those corners hitting the up and down arrows, and holding those will make it so that the curves will become more or less gradual as we work with the arc tool. From there, we kept making arcs, flipping and rounding those corners to create a path of someone walking around the dining room. We also touched on doing the spiral tool, which is hidden under the arc tool, by selecting the spiral tool, by clicking, bringing up this menu and selecting how many segments we would like. So if we do 10, you'll see that it gets real spirally, which can be kind of fun if you want to play around with that. From there, we selected all of our different arcs and we right-clicked and hit join to make it all one path. And then we selected our path and went up here to select our brush that we had created and created that brush on our custom path. So that's your review for today. What I want you to do is, again, go to bit.ly/AI Discord. That's where people will, oh, Colby has already dropped in. That's where people will post their challenges, and Colby has posted my secret settings to my halftone auto trace. If you guys want those, they are sitting in our Discord. A little incentive for you to hop over into that Discord, join us, use those auto trace settings. They're very good. I use them all the time, and you can augment them to what you need. So check those out and make sure that you join us back again tomorrow. I believe that our video will be either here or on, I think it might actually be on behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Go there and it will be up tomorrow for a great time to finish out our cooking demo. For our next stream, we have a very fun theme. I'll be coming up with another daily creative challenge in just a few weeks. So I'll be announcing that theme soon on my Instagram, just hoch.co, HOCHDOTCO. So follow along. And again, I'll be live tonight on Behance with your reviews. So check that out and hang out tonight, 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. Pacific Standard Time? I don't know what time we're on. But Anyway, thanks so much for joining us today. I look forward to seeing your creations and custom brushes on the Arc tool with some paths. A little complicated today, but I think we got it. I will see you again tomorrow. You are all great. Be kind to your friends. Text someone and check in on them and find the good in any situation. And don't forget to smile. See you guys later. Bye.